So what we have here is a 2025. This is a Ram 1500 Limited. So this is getting pretty close to the top line. I think there's one level above this, which is the tungsten. A couple of nice things about this one is it's got the upgraded package. It's called the Level A package. When you go to the Level A, it's about 8,500 bucks more. But a couple of cool things you're going to get with that. You get a bigger touch screen, so it's 14 and a half inches instead of the standard 12 inches. We're going to take a look at that when we get inside. You also get a surround view camera system, so you can kind of get a bird's eye view looking all around the truck. You also get a heads up display, so you're that's really hard to show. I'll show you where it is. I don't know if it'll come through on the video feed or not though. Gets a digital rear view mirror, so if you're like pulling a trailer, you can put a camera on your trailer and then it'll run a digital feed through your screen up top. Another cool feature that's kind of new for this year is the hands-free driving assist. What's nice about the hands-free driving assist is there's a couple of highways that it works so far in Alberta. Works pretty good in the States, but up here they're just starting to expand it. But you can take your hands off the steering wheel and the truck will drive for you if you're cruising down the highway. Believe right now it's just working on the highway between Calgary and Edmonton. And I also think it's working on the Trans-Canada, but I'd have to confirm on that one. I haven't tried it myself, so I don't know. Okay, across the front, a couple things we're going to point out. With the limited package, you get lots of chrome. Looks really sharp, ties everything really nice. We've got the 20-inch rims on this particular one. You can kind of see the raised Bridgestone tires. These are kind of like an all-season, all-terrain. Reasonably good tread wear, so it should be okay in the wintertime, although I always recommend that if you're going to go with some driving lots in the wintertime, that you upgrade to the full-blown winters. Across the front, as I mentioned earlier, all the chrome. A couple other features guys like to look at too when you're looking at the chrome is it comes with the tow hooks down below, so if you're going to be pulling your buddy out when he gets stuck and stuff like that, you got easy access to that. A couple other things I like to point out, this is one of the cameras that's built right in. That's part of your 360-degree camera system. Down below here, you can kind of see it's got these little sensors here, these little circles. Those are your park sensors. So if you're about to run into something when you're going really slow, there's like it'll start beeping on the dash. You'll hear it inside. And when you get within, I believe it's 12 inches, it goes to a tone lock. So for instance, let's say you're parking in a garage and it's a bit tight. You could drive up nice and close and this thing will go beep. And then you know you're within a foot of, bumping into the wall. Cool honeycomb grill, looks pretty sharp. In behind here, there's your part of your adaptive cruise controls tied into that. There's some sensors in there. There's also a sensor up here in the windshield that ties in with that with the camera system, which is basically inside here. You can kind of see it a little bit there with the little eye camera. So that ties in with your lane keep assist as well. So when you're driving down the highway, if you start to drift out of your own lane, it'll kind of bring you back. It'll vibrate the steering wheel and kind of nudge you back into your own lane. You can turn that off too if you don't want to use it. I turn mine off all the time. I prefer just to drive. Up here too, we've got a little sensor here as well. You can kind of see, try and move the camera over there to give you a bit of an angle. See that little dot there? What that does is that's a little rain sensor. So as soon as there's rain on it, it'll pick that up and automatically wipe your wipers for you. Think of it like a fancy intermittent wiper. A couple other things when you go to the Limited, you're going to be driving the high output engine. So this has got a lot more horsepower. And then the standard Hurricane 600, over 500 horse on this thing. It's just gobs and gobs and gobs of power. So if you're interested in something a little bit fancier that way, this is a good one to take a look at. On the side here, I'm just going to pop the door. I'm going to show you the running boards and see how they power down. So they get nice and wide. This is a nice wide stance. I should probably point that out. I can see my foot on there and see how big it is. I wear about a size, I think I'm a size 10, I think is the one I'm taking now. So it's real easy to get in and out. This does have the air leveling suspension as well. So if you want, there's a button on the dash. We'll take a look at that when we get in the driver's seat. And we can lower this right down, super low. So if you're a bit older, you got a bad hip, or you're picking up your grandma or whatever, this kind of has a hard time getting in and out, you can lower this truck right down. And then with the step and the lower step in height, it makes it a lot easier for them to get in and out. Inside, fancier seats on the Limited. They've done some really nice job on the side, on the interior. We got like a little cloth inset with the leather. These are heated seats. They also have a massage function here that you can turn on by pressing this button, and it'll actually rub your back and your bum as well. It also has the digital dash. I'm just going to go just going to pause this here. I'm going to go grab the keys here so we can turn some of this stuff on. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm back now. There we go. So I've got a little button here we can turn on. So you've got your own touch screen in here. I'll just kind of give you a quick synopsis of what it can do. You can access the audio systems. You can actually plug in into this HDMI port here if you want. You can download movies, plug an HDMI into your phone, and then you can watch them up here on a little bit bigger screen. So there's other things you can access here. There's the nav system. So you can be like a co-pilot. I don't know if it's going to pull up for us or not. It might. We're in the building right now, so sometimes the nav system doesn't show up. But you can actually take the nav system here, punch in where you want to go, and you can actually transfer the nav instructions that you load into here over here to the center screen so the driver can see where they're going. A couple of things you can do. You can access the cameras as well. And so these are all the different cameras that you can take a look at. You can look behind the vehicle. We can take a look at some wide angles. Same with the front. Different camera angles on the box, that sort of stuff. So there's lots of accessibility for the passenger to kind of, they call it the co-pilot screen is kind of how we word it. Inside here, we're going to pop this open. We got your owner's manuals and everything are in there. Although there's just kind of like a brief overview owner's manual. If you want the full-blown thing, I think it's like 700 pages. We can download it for you and email it to you if you're interested in reading it. We've all read them, but it's not the most exciting read. Nice floor mats. They got like a little cloth insert. These got little dome snaps on them. You can pop those out. Use it like an all-weather mat if you want. It also makes it a lot easier to clean. They also have snaps that hold the floor mats in place, so we can just undo them and kind of take the floor mats out and clean it real easy. Power seats, power lumbar. On the door panels, this has got the fancier upgraded system with the Harman Kardon sound system. I think there's 19 speakers or something like that it's got. So great sound system if you're looking for something that's going to push the bass and be nice on a long road trip. If you're like a real music aficionado, you can listen to nice stuff. Power windows, power locks. That's the massage seats buttons that you can turn on. You can also access the power massaging seats through the touchscreen. We're going to take a look at that when we get inside. On the driver's seat, grab handle here, make it easier too for people to get in and out. It's got like a little leather wrap on the plastic handle itself. Up top, we've got the panoramic sunroof. I've got the roof open here in the showroom so everybody can see it. But there's a glass panel in the back as well. So basically the whole roof is glass. Now, that's as wide open as it gets. The back glass is fixed, the front opens. So you can kind of see, this is kind of a better angle there. You can kind of see the difference. In the back seat, you got a bench that is split 60-40. You kind of see the angle. You can see the far one there. See how it's kind of sticking out a little bit? That's because we got the far passenger seat slid ahead. Our seats are adjustable. I believe we're the only manufacturer that has sliding rear seats. So all you do is you just kind of lift this handle up and it'll slide forward and back. I think you got to go to the Laramie and up in order to get that. Also, when you go to the fancier trim level, you get a little bit nicer center console in the back instead of just an armrest. The rear passengers, they get a little storage tray bin. They get their own cup holders, that kind of stuff. Up top, we got a whole bunch more speakers. You can kind of see them up there. This seat does flip up. Underneath here, we got a storage bin. I've got it kind of open as wide as it'll go right now. It'll also fold. I'm just going to take this and fold her down. You can kind of see now it just flips up and stays that way. There's a little clip underneath over there that kind of locks it in place. So if you need more room up here, you can do that. All weather mats back here too that we talked about with the insert dome snaps. This lifts up. Underneath here, you got some storage bins. There's that little interior tray. This just lifts out if you want to keep it easy to clean. You end up spilling stuff in there. So lots of extra places to store odds and ends. Rear seats on the Limiteds, they're heated and cooled, so even the rear passengers get heated seats. On the door trim in the back, you can see how everything matches up really nice, ties in. Particularly like this red with the black. I think it looks really nice with the dark wood accents. Lots of chrome, that kind of stuff. Little pockets in here, some more storage down below. Okay, so let's go take a look at the Ram boxes now. So it just got a little button here that you press. Just press that button, you'll hear it pop, and then the box opens up. Inside, you got lots of storage. They got nice big deep bins that go all the way down. You can see a little plug down here. This is removable. You pop that open like that, and then you can have easy access to drain it. So if you wanted to use this like a cooler, for instance, you could fill this up full ice, and then when you're done, you could just pop that little drain plug, and then everything would just drain out. There's another drain plug up here as well in the front, so you can pop it open as well. If you want to drain it out, you can. Little dividers, there's a kit that you can buy. I think it's about $400 or $500. I haven't priced it out lately, but they come with like little dividers and they just kind of slide in here. Guy could probably make his own out of a sheet of 3/8 plywood too if you wanted. Anyway, they'll just slide in here and give you like little compartments for storing all your different stuff. There's a little strap up here that you can pull if you get locked in there. I don't know what you could lock in there, but you know, if you ever did, I guess if you're a little kid or something, maybe, I guess well, you know how kids are. They always find a way to get themselves into trouble. But they could probably do something if they ever did get pinned in there. They could pull that little strap there to pull themselves out. Nice big box cap covers, so it helps protect the top of the box so they don't get scraped up. In the box itself, you'll notice it has the spray and bed liner. This also does come with a tonneau cover on it. We don't have it on here right now, but it does come with one. It's part of that package that we talked about earlier. Okay, it also comes with the sliding rails. So it's got these little hooks here on the side. And what you do is you just loosen this piece off here, pull it towards you, and then you can use it to slide in around these little notch lugs that we have. When you get to the spot you're interested in, you just tighten it back up again. And it just gives you another anchor point to tie stuff down. I have seen some kits that you can buy. They got like different toolboxes and different things that you can buy that slide in on these existing tracks. Makes it kind of a little bit easier to store items, that sort of stuff. Okay, another cool feature that I want to show you here on this truck is the tailgate itself. It's got a button here on your key fob. So let's show it to you here. You press, hopefully that's not too blurry. Double press that middle button there, pops your tailgate. Okay, and that just comes down all by itself. Now, that's pretty common. I think just about everybody's got something like that already or has seen something along those lines. Also comes with LED lights, so if you want to turn them on, you can see what you're doing. You'll also notice they're kind of angled a little bit in, so the light will shed down through the interior of the box, make it a lot brighter. But this is the part of the tailgate I want to show you. It's got an automatic closing feature, so we can just press that button, and the tailgate closes all by itself. You don't have to do anything, which is pretty cool. Along the back, you'll see it's got the dual exhaust tip sticking out the back. That's kind of a Ram thing that's been around for probably the last 15, 20 years. Just makes things look really cool. Little sensors in the back bumper on this trim molding piece. Kind of see them down here. Purpose of those is if you're about to back into something, it'll start beeping. A couple of access points too here. If you take a look at them, they got these different camera angles. These are if you want to tie, you want to buy the optional wiring harnesses for your trailer, and you hook your trailer cameras up, and they'll actually feed through the pickup truck and display on the touch screen, or they'll display on the rear view mirror, so it makes things a lot easier. If you're pulling a trailer, you can kind of see behind you when you're driving. On the far side, you'll see a couple of your normal standard plugs. Those are for your trailer and your 4-pin if you're going to be pulling like a smaller utility trailer. Okay, so now let's take a look at this Ram box as well. This is a little different than the other side. Main difference being is it does come with the extra plug. So you can see this, you just open that up, there's a little plug in there. So you can plug things in there. Say you wanted to charge up your DeWalt power tools, or you can run light duty stuff. It'll handle up to 400 watts. So it's not going to run like your hair dryer or anything super duper heavy duty electrical load, but it can handle, you know, minor stuff like that. Same thing, basically the storage is the same as it is on the other side. Inside here, pop the door open. You can see we've got the capless fuel filler system now. Nice thing about ours is it has 2 doors. You can see it's got the first one here. If I open it up, I don't know if you can kind of see down there, but you can kind of see that silver piece in there. There's another door in there as well. So we actually have 2 baffle doors in order to make sure the dust and the dirt doesn't get into the fuel. Some of our competitors only have 1. So this should help our fuel last a lot longer, not to have any problems with your fuel pumps, that sort of stuff. In the back, you kind of just give you a quick shot here. You can see the power door, the steps pop down again. Okay, let's hop inside. We're going to take a look at some of the stuff that's in here. So once again, we got our windows here, our power mirrors. The mirrors are power folding. If you press that middle button, you can kind of see them sliding in. I'm going to press them again, and then they're going to pop back out. More speakers. You got 2 driver settings 1 and 2. That allows you to just set it up if you've got 2 different drivers. It's going to change your pedals, your seat position, radio stations, mirror settings, that kind of stuff. It'll just get it all organized for each driver, so you don't have to reset it every time you hop in and when you're switching who's ever driving on the road trip. You've also got your power massaging seats, which we're going to take a look at when we do the video on the touch screen. Power seats, power lumbar support for your lower back. You can move it up and down and all around. In here, we've got our power pedals, and then it's got this button here. That's how you turn that plug-in switch that was in the pickup box that we were looking at earlier. Okay, let's fire this up here. We're going to take a look at some of the cool stuff on the dash. So a couple of things that are new for 2025. They've retweaked the dash a little bit. Steering wheel's a little bit different. Let's pull some couple of things here. It's got different drive modes here, so you can select between sport, snow, 4x4, off-road, that kind of stuff. So it just gives it a little bit better. You're able to activate the software within the system a little bit easier. Nice touch screen buttons here for toggling through your screens. We've also got a memory settings. I'm just going to show you a couple of different screens that are available to you. They've got a couple of different speedometers that you can use if you want. They've got that one. If you want to use the digital one, you can set it up that way. You could also do like a landscape mode just by pressing this button, and you can see you get a kaleidoscope of all the different screens that are available to you. This just kind of gives you a synopsis of what's going on in the truck itself. By the way, I'm pressing all these buttons over here to make those happen. Go back to the main speedometer. A couple other things that are cool. One of the ones I really like is, I'm going to go to the nav screen here. This is your fuel economy ratings, distance, tripometers. This is the one I really like. You can see how it comes, your nav screen fires up. So now we've got all our nav instructions as well. So effectively, you've got three nav screens. You've got this one, you've got the big center one, and then the one for the passenger over there if you're using that as well. So you can, if you still get lost, well, you know, maybe it's time to stop going on road trips if you've got three nav systems and you still can't find your way. Lots of screens that way. Over on this side, we got cruise control. These are your adaptive cruise. If we press this on, this is your normal adaptive cruise control here. And what that does is it'll set the distance between you and the vehicles in front of you, and it'll maintain that distance. If we turn this one on here, this is how you activate the self-driving control. So once again, if you're on those certain highways, it'll be operable. You can take your hands off the steering wheel. There's a camera in here that makes sure you're watching the road, so it kind of pays attention to what you're doing. So if you actually fall asleep and you nod off, it's just going to pull over and stop. It's not going to let you, it'll just disable itself. So it's not going to let you do that. You got to keep your eyes on the road when you're driving. But I haven't tried it myself because I haven't gone to Calgary yet with the truck, but it seems to be kind of a neat idea. I'm not sure how excited I am about my truck driving for me, but I guess it's pretty cool. Down here, you've got your gear limiter shifters. You can decide how many gears you're going to give the transmission access to. It's an 8-speed automatic, so you can just use this to shift down if you're going down like steep hills and stuff. Up ahead, this is your heads-up display inside here. You can't see it in the video, but I don't know why it doesn't pick it up. But anyway, right around where on the hood in the air, kind of up in space, there's their speedometer. It'll tell you also what road you're on. If you've got your nav instructions, it'll tell you when to turn, that sort of stuff. So you can get kind of like a digital representation in front of you when you're cruising down the highway of everything that's going on. Center screen, let's go over the big screen. Now this kind of looks always reddish in the videos, and I'm not quite sure why it does that, but it's not in real life. It's just white, but for some reason it just tapes it as kind of a red hue to it. This is the bigger screen. It's 14 inches, so it's a little bit taller than the 12. The 12 ends about here. The other thing it does is it gives you a little bit more access down here for some extra touch screens. On the screen itself, same thing as before. It has a split, so you get your nav up here and then your radio down below. If you want, you can just have like all radio just by hitting the media center, and then it'll just give you all radio, and you can decide where you want your music to come from. Tons of ways to get music in here: AM, FM, all kinds of different Sirius XM, Bluetooth, USB ports, Alexa, all that kind of stuff. Your audio settings are over here if you want to adjust your bass and your equalizer, all that kind of stuff. You can also have your surround sound off and on. Comfort controls, this is where you're going to access anything to do with your heated controls, your heated seats, your ventilated seats, your heated steering wheel. This also in the comfort controls is where you access your massaging seats. So I'm just going to turn on the driver's massaging seat, and I'm going to do the waterfall. So what it's going to do is it's going to work down my back all the way down and then through my butt cheeks out to the front. And it'll do, you can also set the intensity, low, medium, high. So if you want to get like a back massage on a long road trip, it can make it a lot more comfortable for you. Particularly helpful if you got like a bad sciatic or something. It makes a big difference. Phone. This is where you pair your phone up and stuff like that. Although what we typically find is we recommend you download, I'm trying to get rid of that red. It's crazy. Anyway, if you have your phone paired up, we recommend you use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It just works better with the software on your phone, and it'll actually just mirror your phone on this touch screen. Super handy. I like to use it for my Apple Maps, all that kind of stuff. So they just show up on here. So I'm not, I don't actually use the nav that much in the trucks anymore. Unless I'm going on a long road trip, then I tend to use it. Our cameras, just going to go to this screen. Here you can access your trailer tows. So if we had our cameras hooked up right now, we could access the cameras on our trailers if we wanted to. You can also hit your controls, passenger screen off and on. This is the cameras I want to look at. So these are all the different camera angles you have. You got a surround view, top and front, back up. You can just look out the driver's mirror, for instance. So there's your driver's curb view. You can kind of see what's right beside the driver if you wanted to do that. This is the one you're probably going to use the most of those, like the driver's surround. You can kind of see it takes the truck itself and sort of stitches a representation all around the truck itself. So you can kind of see, this is a fake truck, but just the camera angles pop in. And then you can see out the back camera. So it makes it a little bit easier for parking and backing up and that sort of stuff. Down here we got the gain for our trailer brake controller. So for pulling a trailer, you can adjust the gain with those, and then you can actually apply the brakes by that's your trailer brake activation. We can turn the sensors off on the front and the back. So if they were beeping at you, say you're hooking up your trailer and it's going beep, 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 really fast, and you don't want to listen to it, you can just reach over and turn it off. This has the adjustable air ride. Right now we're in normal mode. We can also lower it all the way down like we talked about earlier to make it easier to get in and out. It's also handy too if you're going through like a underground parking. I've seen people drop them all the way to the ground. Makes it a lot easier to drive. It'll also drop itself into an aero mode, like when you're driving down the highway. It'll lower the vehicle down. I think it's an inch or 2 inches. I can't remember. I have to go look it up. It just gets a little bit lower and just creates less drag underneath the vehicle, and just gets better fuel economy that way. And then you could also raise it all the way up if you're doing like lots of off-road driving. Lots of storage bins. You got two RAM charger pads. You can put your cell phone in here or here. It'll charge them up, so you could charge your passenger phone as well. We got our HDMI import we talked about earlier for running videos, and then your standard USB ports for plugging stuff in. Lots of cup holders. On the fancier limited, they got the little door tray that folds over if you don't want to look at the coffee stip bills from Tim Hortons. Got some strays in here for storing your coins. Same thing there. You can kind of fold it over and keep your coins, confidentially out of the way so nobody's looking at it. Nice little armrest. This flips up. Little insert liner in here. This has got like a soft fabric, keep things from getting scratched up. There's also a USB port there too you can use for plugging stuff in. Even more storage underneath. This just flips up like that. That's a divider, so it keeps the stuff you got in the front storage areas from sliding into the back storage area, and vice versa. So it's got some nice areas to kind of store some stuff. Up top, one more thing I want to point out is this digital camera. You can kind of see my reflection. That's the real rear view mirror, so that's solid mirror. This is the digital feed. This is picking up the feed out of the back camera, which is on where the high stop mount light is, and it's just feeding a digital screen through. This is adjustable. We can move it up and down, left, right, up, down, all kinds of stuff, and it's just pretty handy. It does a nice little feed. This is where if you had your trailer plugged into, it would actually feed the camera on the back of your trailer. It would have a digital feed that would come through on there when you're driving down the highway. Overhead, we got some more storage area. We've got a place here for some sunglasses, all your opening, closing for your sunroof, and then you've got your SOS buttons, that sort of stuff. If you want to get your phone hooked up, you can phone the RCMP. You can also use your assist, which you can hit if you want to get a hold of, have somebody give you like you got a flat tire, or you need help, that kind of stuff. Button to pop the tailgate, and a couple of buttons here to open and control your lights if how you want them to turn off and on when you're driving. Okay, I'm sure I missed a whole bunch of stuff, and there's tons of other stuff that we could sit here and talk about on this truck for probably a few more hours if we wanted to. But if you're looking to get yourself a really nice, luxurious truck, the Limited's a fantastic option. We would stack our truck up against anybody's out there. If you're looking at Chevy, you're probably looking at something like a Denali. You'd be looking at an F-150 Platinum if you're over there looking at what they have to offer. So our high-end truck is just fantastic. So if you're looking to get yourself a new truck, we'd invite you to come by and have a cup of coffee with us and take it for a drive. We hope to see you soon.